Well, where I am in Virginia, the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, we have the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, 17-mile long artificial reef that people happen to drive over. And flounder fishing's gotten more difficult. They're not catching them out in the open water as much as they used to. So now what guys are doing is they're using live bait, and they're fishing very tight in with the structure of the bridge and with the rocks or with the pilings of the bridge. They take a small spot or any kind of small live bait, but bigger than a minnow. But a small spot is perfect. Put it on a 3-way rig with like a 6 to 8 ounce J hook, maybe a 2-foot leader of 50-pound fluorocarbon, let's say. Back, 3-way swivel, drop down, maybe a foot down to a 6 to 8 to 10, but usually 6 to 8 ounce sinker, and then using braided line on a conventional rod, and you back the boat right up to the bridge or right up to the rocks, and you drop it down in there, and you want to fish it right where the structure meets the sand. So you watch on your fish finder where that structure meets the sand, and then you drop down there and you fish it right tight in with structure. You got to bring a lot of hooks and a lot of rigs because you lose a lot, but you also catch a lot of really nice flounder, and it's been the only way that we've been able to produce flounder in the last few years.
And Rick, you drift off of that structure and then you move back up onto it. Is that what you do?
Ideally, if you can work it out, and it always seems to work out one way or the other, is you use the wind and the current, and we have a lot of current in Chesapeake Bay, but you'll use the wind and the current to kind of like push the boat down the structure. Yes, you can drift away from it, and sometimes you'll catch them away from it, but the best drift, you'll hold the boat and the anglers are in the back, and you're drifting down the bridge. So, you're using the current and the wind to kind of push you down the bridge real slow. And that way you're not, stuck in one spot, you're not hogging a spot, and you can still get tight in with that structure.
Do you ever power drift to stay on top of that structure?
Yep, sure. Same kind of idea. It is almost like a power drift, right?
Yeah, great.
But the key is getting it right where that structure meets the sand.
Yep. And then you mentioned offshore fishing for fluke now.
Yeah, our best fishing for flounder the last few years, since it's been so slow in the bay, is offshore on these wrecks. And again, same thing. We're fishing wrecks that are anywhere from 50 to 120 feet of water. And again, kind of the same idea, looking for right where that structure meets the sand. This time, though, I like to use a bucktail jig, 1 to 3 ounces, usually 2 ounces is the magic number. Something with a thin head that's going to sink fast. Light braided line, like 10 to 20 pound test braided line, maybe 30. Conventional casting rod. The lighter your line and the lighter your bucktail, the better you tend to do. Of course, you have to use some weight to get down to 120 feet of water, but you'll find if you're using light braided line and a 1 to 2 ounce jig, even in 120 feet of water, you can get to the bottom, and you just bounce it along the bottom, and there you can drift away from the wreck, a ways, and still find the fish. But again, always the best seems to be right where the wreck meets the sand.
Are you using any kind of attractant on the bucktail?
I don't use any attractant on the bucktail. I use a strip bait. A strip of fish, is usually the best. And yep, that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rick.
Yep.